Hello my friends, it's May 2nd, 2017, and it's time for today's big story. Nintendo loves to revamp their portable systems. They make them bigger, they make them smaller, they add in new features and all kinds of other stuff. But they don't really do that with their consoles. We might get a different color or something along the line, but we don't get revamped consoles like we do portables. But it seems like that might change according to Nintendo's president. Nintendo's Tatsumi Kimishima did his investor Q&A, and we finally got the English translation, which is something I mentioned last week. And he's asked about the new 2DS XL and why they're deciding to do that, blah 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 blah. But part of the answer pertains to all of Nintendo's hardware, so I'm going to read you the specific blurb. Kimishima says, "To that end, we are always thinking about what kinds of software consumers are going to want, and evaluating our hardware cycles to make sure that we are meeting that need. This means that our products' life cycles are not going to last for a set number of years, but will be flexible enough to change when required by changing consumer needs. In general, this is the sort of thinking we want to adopt for all of our hardware development. We want to have flexible hardware cycles where the launch of new hardware sets off the development of the next hardware that will respond to consumer trends." I mean, I don't think there's any other way to read it. It certainly seems like, hey, we've been doing redesigns of portables, we want to do it with our consoles now too. And obviously the Switch, because it has some portable aspects to it, would make perfect sense to do that. So don't be surprised if in a year's time we see a redesigned Switch. Some guy on Go Nintendo says, "Switch Mini with no detachable Joy-Cons and no dock is only a matter of time, in my opinion. And given the success of the new 3DS family, Nintendo should feel confident that they can release an upgraded model in the future, and then a mini version of it." Yeah, I mean, I've been thinking that for a while. A version of the Switch where you can take off the Joy-Cons makes perfect sense to me. That might limit a couple of the games because they want you to use freehand motion controls. But they're not making it so that all games use that. I mean, look at ARMS. ARMS is big on motion controls, but they want you to know you don't have to use motion controls to play it. You don't need motion controls for Zelda, you don't need motion controls for Splatoon, you don't need motion controls for pretty much what Nintendo's putting out first party, minus 1-2 Switch. So there might be, you know, it'd be like how on the new 3DS, there's only a handful of games that you can only play on the new 3DS, but it's very small compared to the library of software that's available for the platform. So we might get into one of those situations. But yeah, I think a revamp of the hardware is going to be a lock. It just depends on when and what they're going to do with it. Alright my friends, that's today's big story for May 2nd, 2017. Thanks for watching and liking and subscribing and commenting. It's very much appreciated. I'll be back tomorrow for tomorrow's big story, whatever that may be, and I sure hope you'll join me to check it out. So until then, have a lovely evening, and I'll see you in a few short hours. Hey guys, RMC here from Go Nintendo. If you like what you saw in the video, why don't you give us a thumbs up and maybe even subscribe? We'd love to have you. If you want to see what else we're up to, you can check out GoNintendo.com for 24-hour Nintendo news. You can visit us on Facebook at Facebook.com/GoNintendo. You can check us out on Twitter at Twitter.com/GoNintendoTweet. And we're even over on Instagram at Instagram.com/GoNintendo. I put all the links in the description just to make it easier for you guys to follow. Thanks a lot.